How are we doing today?
All right,
Hi,
how are
just
you?
fine.
I'm good. I'm good. Well, as I mentioned, right now I am doing a live broadcast, and this broadcast is going to be able to be seen through my YouTube channel. And I am doing a broadcast, but I am teaching a lesson on becoming more persuasive, how to properly present a persuasive presentation, or to be more persuasive. It can be in the work area or other places, just to help you increase your ideas of what persuasion really means and how to properly use the areas of rhetoric. I'm going to show some examples of worksheets. I'm also going to show some examples of presentations, and I'm going to cover the modes of persuasion. So first, what we're going to do is cover the modes of persuasion. Second, I'm going to kind of show you what it looks like on the worksheet and everything else. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to be persuasive utilizing Monroe's motivating sequence, the most powerful persuasive tool existing on the planet Earth, at least in my opinion and a lot of other opinions of individuals. So,
Planet Earth, huh? All right.
Planet Earth, it's pretty bold, and so that's kind of why I make that comment, because Monroe's motivated sequence, you actually use it. It's so powerful that you use it in your life every day, and you never even know it. So, first off, persuasion. What is persuasion? Well, the art of persuasion is beautiful and just. Persuasion is something we use in our lives every day. It can be something small, like wanting a piece of candy and asking for a piece of candy. Or it can be something big, like asking for a promotion. We're going to see some small and big examples. First off and foremost, you got to understand what persuasion is. Persuasion, you see, persuasion is basically convincing. And when you're convincing someone of something, it's all about the audience. That's what people forget. You have to consider the demographics, which is either the age range, political thoughts, religion. It can be anything from skin color or race. It can be anything from age. Demographics is you have to consider the background of the individual that you're talking to or speaking with or trying to convince. So, for example, if you have a friend, everyone has those friends that are very, very strategic, and they like thinking strategically. So, for instance, if you say to this friend, listen, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. This is why, that is why, this is why we should do this. They're going to say, well, since you put it that way, let's do it. But if you came to the friend and you're thinking more like a visionary, or you're saying, hey, this is the big picture, and you don't really present anything or any examples or statistics or facts for this friend, they may say, I don't really get what you're talking about, let's not do that. So, on the other hand, if you're going to a visionary type of person, and this could be a boss as well, not just a friend, let's just say it's a boss. If you're going to like a visionary type of person, let's just say you say, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, this is why we should do it. Well, if you don't show them the big picture, then they won't understand what they get themselves into, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It does. So you're going to hit them with the big picture up front.
You got to hit them with that big picture. It's all about the big picture. But then on the other hand, other people, other individuals that think differently may consider something if you break down the big picture. Because let me tell you this, the big picture has to be created, but it takes pieces of what you're going to draw to create that big picture. You never ever just get the big puzzle. You got to put every piece in its place first in order for the true masterpiece to be created and to look good. That's what's so beautiful. You know, that's why the Sistine Chapel wasn't created overnight. You know, it took time and attention because it's the big picture and it's beautiful, but it took a lot of that hard work. And a lot of times that's what you have to show people. So let's first start with the modes of persuasion. Say it with me, the modes of persuasion.
Modes of persuasion.
Modes of persuasion. The modes of persuasion are 3 things, and Aristotle actually created them way back in the day. They're called ethos, pathos, and logos. So repeat after me. Ethos.
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 Pathos.
Ethos.
And logos.
And mogos.
Yep. Thank you. And what we're going to refer to is an explanation. Using one of the main sources I like to use from the College Debate Association, a textbook that was created back in around between 2001 and 2004. It had some edits throughout the years, that's why. But we're going to refer to this documentation to see exactly what ethos, pathos, logos means. So rhetoric is basically the simplest form of persuasion. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and you're going to be able to look over this document with me to see exactly what rhetoric and those things mean. So I'm sharing it right now. Let me know if you can see it.
I see your screen.
You see it?
Yes.
There. Oh,
All
it
right.
went away.
So
There you go. It's there.
analyzing rhetoric. Hey, awesome, awesome. Let me know if you have any problems, okay? Analyzing rhetoric and rhetorical devices. Okay, so the form says that rhetoric is, in its simplest form, is the art of persuasive speech or writing. Okay, for thousands of years, politicians, orators, and many other people that we've seen in the past has used this as an influence to persuade. So rhetoric is all around us, as I mentioned. So I'm not going to go back into that, but I mentioned it earlier. You see it in your everyday life. Rhetoric is really big or really small. All right, and if you watch these past debates, rhetoric really wasn't used, really wasn't used in the forms that we like to see it. Without getting too political, I'll just say that rhetoric has been used a lot more efficiently in past debates. But there was some rhetoric being used, I should say. So with rhetoric, you have three different modes inside of your modes of persuasion: ethos, pathos, logos. First, there's logos. Okay, logos is going to be used to appeal to an audience's sense of reasoning or logic. These also can be known as logistics. You guys probably heard that saying before, logistics. And that is meaning, what's the logical reason of something happening? Well, does that make sense? What is the reason for that? Is it logical? Those are the things you have to consider with logos. Well, logos appeals to the audience with statistics, facts, definitions, historical proof, quotations from experts, all right? Like the handout says, think of commercials when you have a celebrity giving things. I know that I never wanted to wear Hanes, for example, right? So Hanes actually came out with a commercial with Michael Jordan holding Hanes drawers. And when I saw Michael Jordan holding Hanes drawers, I had to give me some Hanes drawers. I said, if Michael Jordan is wearing Hanes drawers, I need to get Hanes drawers. It only makes logical sense. If Mike is wearing it, then I'm going to wear it. That's the only reason I tried Wheaties as well. So when we think about these things, that's what it truly means. Pathos is the next thing. This is the feeling of the audience. This is the feeling of the audience. And this is how you appeal to them. You bite into that emotion. You bite into that emotion. There's been speeches that I've made in the past where my attention-getting device had to include something that was going to connect to this audience. A lot of times I start off with a joke, but if it's a more serious speech, then pathos has to be used correctly. In my opinion, this is the most vital one, but like I said, it's all open to your interpretation and your opinion. Because a lot of people may not think it's most important. Other people may think logos or ethos is the most important. But you have to determine that for yourself. So it gives the audience's feelings of shame, empathy, sympathy, embarrassment, anger, excitement, and or fear. An example of a good attention getter using great pathos is something similar to this. Say if I get up in front of an audience and I say to them, every single year, more than 250,000 teens die as a result of drunk driving. We must address this issue because this issue has become something that is really hard for our communities, and it has to stop. So, with that being said, pathos can really bite into the audience's emotion. Moving on down to ethos. Ethos, it establishes credibility. It's very simple. It's going to give that credibility and the credentials of the person that's speaking or the writer. So, for example, there are books out there that are probably some of the best books we've ever seen. However, if those books aren't written by someone that is credible, then their name's not going to speak for itself. For instance, people may buy a Mark Twain book before they buy a Mark Grain book. You know what I mean? Mark
Exactly.
Twain, you know, he's not going to sell as many books as Mark Twain. So that's why credibility is so important. A lot of people believe that that's the most important thing because they feel like, especially kids these days, aren't going to listen if your credentials aren't there. So that's why every speech I go out and give professionally, I actually have them read off my credentials. I hate it because it seems like I'm bragging and it seems like I'm just reading a resume, but people like to know what you've done in order to actually listen. So when we review these things, ethos, pathos, and logos are our three modes of persuasion. It's very important to consider these things because we have to use them correctly. So when you use those modes of persuasion, you're always going to have to use them when you're trying to persuade. It just may be a different weight that you're going to use some of them. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
All right. So I like pictures, and I've been talking all this time, and I know you guys are probably like, man, shut up, he's talking so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my screen back with you and show you a PowerPoint that I share with my students. And it's a really quick PowerPoint, but it gives you an example of the three modes of persuasion. So I'm going to share the screen right now and kind of show you guys exactly what it is I'm discussing. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so this PowerPoint is audience, and a friend of mine way back in the day made a lot of this, and I just tweaked it a little bit, but I use it in my educational class. This is from communications teacher of about 15 plus years, Jerry Willard. She teaches still in she teaches at Notre Dame Besides right now, high school. She teaches speech and debate. She's the director of speech and debate. So shout out to Jerry Willard. I have to give my source according to. So if you guys see these things, like this is a McDonald's menu. Okay, this is a bus schedule, a local bus schedule. Okay, so it's just things you see every day that actually uses it. I already told you guys what pathos does. It appeals to emotion. Okay, and I explained these things to you. You see this picture? Please take care of this summer. And the picture shows a woman putting down a towel, and it shows a body layout as if there was something that's like a death or something. It's probably saying more than likely, really be careful on spring break, but it's painting that picture to make you feel a certain way. So that picture in itself uses pathos, and it shows you really need to be careful because this is what can happen to you. Logos, evidence, statistics. We discussed that. All right, logos of an advertisement. Okay, straight facts about the product. One glass of Florida orange juice contains 75% of your daily vitamin C. All right, so that can have people drinking Florida orange juice because I know I really need to drink it. And vitamin C is very important because it fights off sickness and it does a lot of good things for us. It's one of the most important vitamins in our body, so that really helps out. And ethos, it appeals to the credibility of it. Earlier, I discussed Michael Jordan and Haynes draws, right? So that is basically an example of ethos. It's a credibility factor. So this is 9 out of 10 dentists agree that Crest is better than any other brand. 9 out of 10 dentists agree that Crest is better than any other brand. Can one of you give me what the credibility factor is in that sentence statement?
What the credibility factor is?
Yeah, the ethos credibility factor.
The 9 out of 10 dentists.
Exactly. Good job. Yep. 9 out of 10 dentists. Because why? Dentists are credible when it comes to clean teeth. So that's who you want to listen to for credibility, the 9 out of 10 dentists. There goes Michael Jordan and those Haynes draws I talked about.
Hey, I just want to mention that when I started wearing those draws, my game got a lot better.
Hey.
It did, really.
Hey, Ed, I bet you did a 360 dunk when you put those draws on.
Close. I was close.
And this is the Denver water supply, says use only what you need. Okay, you see how it has a little bit right there, the rest of the bench is missing, but it shows that we need to use only what we need in life. It paints that picture for us. In town, car accidents don't just happen to cars. Slow down, stop speeding. And these things hit us really hard. Okay, and those are just a few examples. All right, communications just got sweeter, shows the keys on the M&M and, paints the picture for you. UNICEF, don't ignore me. Okay, all these things that we see is an example of ethos, pathos, and logos. So what we're going to do is take a quick, not a quick break, but we're going to switch over and record another video, and I'm going to explain my roles motivated sequence. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good. So how many minutes was that?